Sports Central presents MaxPreps SoCal.
And welcome in to MaxPreps SoCal. Over the next half hour, we're going to spotlight some of the biggest games this week and some of the biggest performances from last Friday. I'm Hayre, very pleased to be joined by former LA Charger and Riverview, Florida high school alum Jahleel Addae. I mentioned that because your Sharks 6-0 this year, Jahleel?
Yeah, 6-0, and that's a great thing down there in the Tampa, Florida area. I've never been 6-0. The furthest we went was second round of the playoffs. So to see those Riverview Sharks 6-0, keep it up down there in Riverview, Florida.
There you go. Brag on them a little bit. All right, before we get started, let's just right off the top, a look at the top 10 high school football teams in the state of California, not Florida, Jahleel. No surprise about the top two. Modern Day, St. John Bosco. Several more SoCal teams, including undefeated Sierra Canyon. It's third, Centennial. Number 4, Orange Lutheran. Number 7, and at number 9, Long Beach Poly. But there's no bigger high school football game in the country this regular season than the one between the two teams at the top on Friday night, Modern Day and St. John Bosco. The Trinity League rivals well-versed with each other. Since the start of the 2016 season, they've played 12 times, including 5 playoff meetings. Of course, the Braves won the last one, 24-22 in the Southern Section D1 championship game. That snapped the Monarchs' 29-game winning streak. We caught up with both coaches ahead of this one.
Does it linger a little bit from last year, and does it sting? Absolutely. I'd be crazy to say it doesn't. But what I will tell you is through summer and spring, I reminded them a couple times of the final score by posting it on our scoreboard. So they've been reminded enough, and the sting is there. But again, we're trying to move on from last year. So in order to win, part of it is not thinking back into last year.
It's one of the most unique rivalries across the country. It's something I'm certainly excited and happy to be a part of. And this is the week that we get up for every year. And over the last couple of years, it seems like we've done it twice. So it's pretty exciting. I'm just happy for the kids to be able to play in an environment like this and to be a part of a game like this.
All right, guys, here's your stat to know this week. Since 2016, Modern Day has a gaudy 90-4 record. 90-4. And you guessed it, the only team they've lost to during that stretch is St. John Bosco. 3 of those losses, though, have come during the Southern Section playoffs. So this game features over 70 players with Division I offers. When I say that, can you even comprehend 70 dudes with D1 offers?
I can't, because when I look back at it, when I was in high school, I don't remember if there was even 70 offers in the county where I was at in Hillsborough. It's crazy. And when you look at guys when you look at stuff like this, you just say, man, this game is going to be action-packed. It's full of talent, full of future NFL stars.
All right, so let's start with Modern Day. Obviously, guys littered up and down this roster, 4- or 5-star guys. Who do you have your eye on?
Well, when you look at a game like this, you got to say this game is going to be won in the trenches. I'm looking at Aiden Breland, the 5-star, 6'5", 290-pound, #1 defensive lineman in the whole state of California. That says a lot. And then when you look on the flip side, you look at Brandon Baker, protecting the quarterback's blind side. 6'5", 290, Texas commit, 5-star. These guys are literally identical twins playing in the trenches, just on opposite sides of the ball.
And speaking of protecting the quarterback, how about that quarterback, Elijah Brown, who makes it all go, the Stanford commit. And keep your eye on Nate Frazier, the running back, doing things and going to Georgia next year. All right, Bosco now. What do we got, Jahleel?
We're going Bosco. I'm a DB. We're going secondary. We're going Marcellus Williams, 5'11", 190, USC commit. Really shifty, plays well with his feet, has a good knack for the ball, and he can really get after it. And then we're going to go Peyton Woodyard, 6'1", 190, Alabama commit. I know Nick Saban's happy about him. Yeah. And it's crazy. We just found out he is the cousin of Kyle Hamilton of the Baltimore Ravens, man. You know the blood in that family runs football all day long, man. It's going to be exciting to watch.
I'm shocked you picked 2 DBs.
I am
Should
too.
I have been shocked?
I
don't think so. How about the linebacker, Kingston Viliamuasa, who's going to Notre Dame, actually chose between Notre Dame, Ohio State, and USC, and the running back, Cameron Jones, going to UCLA, and, of course, the quarterback, Caleb Sanchez. All right, Modern Day and St. John Bosco were poised to be the first high school teams to play at SoFi Stadium this year. Instead, that distinction is going to go to Warren and Downey, who are set to play their annual rivalry game Friday night at the home of the Rams and Chargers. Warren unbeaten in the Gateway League, coming off a 50-14 win over Norwalk last week. The Vikings also 2-0 in league play, having beat Compton Dominguez 34-14 in Week 7. Both schools excited to take their unique rivalry to the big stage at SoFi.
The love that community has for each school, Warren favorites and Downey favorites. And then after this week, everybody goes back to their normal thing. And then they kind of don't really, I think they lose track of both teams, but they really, everything's invested in this.
Families are split. Some go to Downey, some go to Warren. Some parents graduated from Warren, some graduated from Downey. Coaches are from these other schools and stuff like that. Teachers, administrators, district employees. So it's a really, really unique situation. It's really, really cool that we get together, and to do it at a venue like this is just, just like I said, it's remarkable.
So the first high school game ever played at SoFi Stadium. This guy has played at SoFi Stadium. What do you think these young kids, what's going through their mind right now, knowing that they're going to play in maybe the greatest stadium in the world?
Literally the greatest stadium of the world, if you ask me. But when you look at it, you say, hey, we're high school players. We get to play in an NFL stadium, right? Bright lights. Big. This is what they dream of. They dream of one day playing in these type of stadiums, playing in these kind of crowds. And you see what they said. There's going to be a lot of family, friends, administration who have, been at Warren, been at Downey, and it's a lot of bragging rights in this game. It's going to be exciting to watch.
No question. And a guy who's not afraid of the big lights, Madden Yamaliava, 11 of 11, 295 yards and 5 touchdowns last week versus Norwalk. Is that good, Jahleel?
That's good. That's great. This guy is on fire. He slings it all over the field. This hash, that hash. It doesn't matter what hash it is. This kid is complete. He can do it all, just like his brother.
His brother at Tennessee now. I actually interviewed Nico last year, and we mentioned Madden, and Nico talked about how he is next up.
It's really just me passing the torch to him. He's done a great job. He hasn't even played a full year of quarterback, and he's doing a lot of crazy things, man. Definitely better than me at my age, so I'm excited to see what the future holds for him. Just getting the mental side of the game down and seeing defenses and him getting live reps too. So I'm excited for him.
So we know that Nico had a ton of offers, ended up going to Tennessee. The offers are stacking up now for Madden.
Yeah, you see the offers are stacking up for Madden. But what he said, what did Nico say? He said, my brother's better than me than I was at this age. And it's typically like that. The younger brother gets to see the mistakes that the older brother has made. He gets to see, hey, what has worked for my brother, what hasn't. So when that younger brother comes up underneath that older brother, he has that advantage. It's a really, really exciting opportunity for him.
And how about the head coach, Kevin Pearson, who also helped develop Bryce Young in modern day when he was over there?
Yeah. He's a quarterback guru.
No doubt.
He gets it done, man. He understands.
Yep, Madden's up next. All right, coming up next on MaxPreps SoCal, another big-time performance from Newbury Park's dynamic duo in a win over Agora last week. Plus, we'll also look back at Gardena Serra's win over Notre Dame, which saw the Cavaliers run wild all night against that Knights defense.
You're watching MaxPreps SoCal.
Welcome back to MaxPreps SoCal. Canyon League action from Week 7. Newbury Park hosting unbeaten Agora. 4-star quarterback Brady Smigel leads the state in touchdown passes, and his favorite target, junior Shane Rosenthal, who followed up his Player of the Week performance with another huge game. Third quarter now, game tied at 14. Smigel to Rosenthal, a 52-yard scoring strike. The duo connected for 3 touchdowns on the night as Newbury Park cruises to a 35-14 victory. Well, still just a sophomore, Smigel already has 81 career touchdown passes, including a state-leading 35 this season. He's averaging over 330 passing yards a game in 2023. Shane, Brady, and his dad, Panthers head coach Joe Smigel, joined Jim Hill on Sports Central last weekend after the win.
It was a big victory for us. We came off a tough loss the week before, and we had to get back on track. I like to call it, Dr. W has to come in town and give us some medicine. That's the only thing that can make you feel better is getting a win.
You're a sophomore, right?
Yes, sir.
How many colleges have sent you letters?
You don't get letters yet. You got to wait till you're a junior.
But you get phone calls?
Yes, sir. A lot of phone calls.
How distracting is all of this to you right now at such a very early age in school?
Yes, sir. It's a lot of fun, but I'm just trying to be a kid, just being a neighborhood kid, going to Newbury Park games my whole life, my dad being a coach, just being the ball boy. I just want to be a kid, just hang out with my friends as much as I can. Just try to keep my mind off of that as much as I can, but obviously it's fun having a bunch of coaches that you watch on TV and then they're coming to your school and shaking your hand, watching you throw. It's a lot of fun, but just trying to be a kid as much as I can.
But of course you have a coach here that you can depend on if you want to just talk about something.
Yes, sir.
It could get to be really stressful at times.
Yeah, he played in college as well. He played at Arizona, and he didn't take the easiest journey, so having him there for any advice is awesome.
I played in the NFL for 8 years. So my question to you is, What's more fun, intercepting passes or getting touchdowns, scoring touchdowns?
That's a tough question. I definitely like both sides of the ball, but I'd say I'm more of a receiver right now. I like that more. I like scoring touchdowns, but getting interceptions and tackles is also really fun. So I love playing both ways, but catching touchdowns is my favorite.
So I know what Jim's answer was, intercepting passes. And I think I know what yours is, but as a high school player, you were a two-way player. What was the best for you, catching touchdowns or picking off passes?
Well, I didn't play safety until I got to college. So at high school, all I was doing was playing running back, and I sprinkled me in a little bit of DB, but not much. So I would have to say catching touchdowns. You know, just receiving those accolades, getting your name in the paper when I was playing. Now it's Instagram, Twitter, you know, all those big social network streams. So I have to agree with you, Shane. Catching touchdowns over interceptions right now.
At the high school level, getting
at the high school level for sure.
It's a little bit better. All right, let's chat about Brady Smigel, because this is a guy, a sophomore. Yeah. The yes sir, no sir to Jim, you could just tell that he's a complete package, and he said his phone's been ringing off the hook. I'm sure every major program in the country wants Brady Smigel under center.
Oh, for sure. 6'4", big kid, pro-style quarterback. He can see over the line. As you see, he talked about his dad. He talked about just wanting to be a kid. He talked about just wanting to hang out with his buddies. He's just having fun right now. He's not even reached the ceiling. He has so much potential. He's going to be a stud in the future.
Already a stud. I mean, does it surprise you that somebody who's a sophomore in high school putting up numbers at this level?
It does, but like you say, this is what it is. It's California football. There's nothing but athletes out here. I'd say California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. You know, there's nothing but athletes. And this kid is proving it over and over again, only a sophomore. He has 2 more years after this to continue to pack on those stats. Every college in the country is going to be knocking at his door.
We're going to say the name Brady Smigel a lot over these next couple of years.
Yes, sir.
All right, coming up next, MaxPreps National High School Football Editor Zack Poff joins us for more on modern-day St. John Bosco and a look at his California state rankings. And we sit down with the Williams brothers, USC's Max and St. John Bosco's Marcellus, as they get set to face their toughest test of the season this week.
You're watching MaxPreps SoCal.
Welcome back, everybody. We were in Gardena last Friday for a Mission League matchup between Sarah and Notre Dame Sherman Oaks. Behind a potent rush attack, Sarah handed the Knights their second straight league loss, rushing for a combined 402 yards on over 10 yards per carry in the win. Senior running back Sincere Rainey carried the ball for 243 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's averaging over 150 rushing yards a game. Sarah rolled to a 45-35 win, improving to 5-2 and 2-0 in the Mission League. Notre Dame fell to 4-3 on the season.
The Mission League is one of the toughest leagues in California. To win a game against a team like Notre Dame is always big. So we're excited just because we know how hard it is to win a game. So winning like this, fired up, homecoming, the whole thing.
Sarah ranks 10th in the MaxPreps Southern Section rankings. They face Bishop Amat on Friday. At the top, Modern Day number 1, St. John Bosco number 2, and 7-0 Sierra Canyon is 3rd. In the city section, the top team is 3-time reigning Open Division champs Birmingham. 8-0 Carson is number 2. Garfield number 3 at 6-1, while Gardena and Narbonne round out the top 5. Joining us now is MaxPreps National Football Editor Zack Poff, who comes up with these rankings. And Zack, before we get into Modern Day and Bosco, I don't know if you could put it into context for us, just the gap between Modern Day, Bosco, and everybody else.
So earlier this week, we came out with an article, and this game on Friday night is going to feature a combined 76 players that have already landed at least one FBS offer. So that really just shows you the talent that both these programs have. And also, to another interesting stat, Modern Day is 90-4 since 2016. All 4 losses have come to St. John Bosco. St. John Bosco, on the other hand, they're 84-12, and 8 of those 12 losses have come to Modern Day. So when you see both these programs, a lot of the losses they have had have come to each other. But I will say this, I think Sierra Canyon is very good, and I think they could very well give St. John Bosco a good game this year. But I strongly believe that Modern Day is in their own class this year, along with Bishop Gorman out in Las Vegas.
So how would you describe Friday's matchup? You mentioned all the players with D1 offers. Where do you even start in talking about these guys?
Yeah, it's crazy. You could go on for hours talking about this game. This is not just the biggest game in SoCal. This is the biggest game every single season across the country. And, you know, before the season came out, we came out with our top 10 games of the year. It was more who was fighting for number 2 because we knew who number 1 was going to be. It was going to be Mater Dei versus St. John Bosco. Now, even though St. John Bosco had that one loss against Kahuku, it really doesn't take away from this game because it's still going to be a big-time game. It's still going to be the number 1 game on the schedule this year. And you're just going to see all the celebrities kind of go out to this game. When these two teams play, it's more like a college atmosphere than it is a high school game. And it's always, I tell people in the office this all the time, this is the number 1 get your popcorn ready game in the high school football season. I know Cal Preps came out with a score prediction of 35-17. I think this game's going to be a little tighter than that 35-17 score because St. John Bosco, they do have one of the best defenses in the country. So I think points are going to be tough for both teams because we know what Mater Dei does on that side of the ball also.
Get you out here on this, the first ever high school football game at SoFi Stadium this week, too, between Warren and Downey. We were just talking about Madden Yamaliava. Your thoughts on Madden, his prospects at the next level?
Hey, I'll say this, man. His older bro, Nico, he's got a bunch of swag, but Madden's got a lot of swag, too. You saw in last week's dub, the dude went 11 for 11 through 5 tutties. So I think this dude is playing very well, and he's going to just keep getting better and better, and he's landing some Power 5 offers for a reason. I don't know if he's going to be as big time as Nico because Nico was one of the best quarterback prospects in SoCal I've seen over the last decade, but Madden's going to be a big-time quarterback, too, and one of the better ones to come from SoCal.
Zack, Poff, we appreciate your time, man. I know you're flying down from Mater Dei Bosco. Enjoy it, and we'll talk to you next week. All right, Max Jr. and Marcellus Williams are brothers from Carson. Max plays football for USC and Marcellus at St. John Bosco. And this weekend, both brothers will face their toughest tests of the season. Our Darren Haynes has more.
Max Williams Jr. and Marcellus Williams have a lot in common. They're brothers.
Those are like my best friends. I could talk to them about anything.
I always looked up to them like, we're really close.
They like the same things.
We did everything together, you know, wherever we went, you know, we worked out together, we ate together, watched TV together.
Whenever we're with each other, it's always fun and like a lot of laughs, and we're just all like really close.
And they look the same.
I consider that my twin. We look alike.
You agree? You guys look alike?
I don't like to say it, but yeah.
Who's the better looking twin?
I would consider me, for sure.
I will always say me.
He said
yeah. I know he would, but I mean, I'll say it's me.
But they also face their toughest test of the season. On Friday, Marcellus, a USC commit, will lead his Bosco team ranked number 9 in the nation against number 1 Mater Dei. And then on Saturday, Max and his 10th-ranked Trojans will travel to number 21 Notre Dame.
One of the reasons why you come to USC is to play against Notre Dame.
We're the best teams in the state, some of the top teams in the nation. I mean, these are the games we just live for.
And if these two brothers already didn't have enough in common, they're both underdogs this weekend.
I mean, that doesn't faze us. Like, we live for this.
We don't really pay attention to the noise, you know. I feel like we could just go out there, do what we do, and at the end of the day, the truth will always be told.
If you had to say something to your brother to motivate him for this game coming up, what would you say to him? Max has a message for you before you take on Mater Dei.
Man, just play your game, you know, play confident, you know what to do, you know you're the best out there on the field anytime you step on the field, you know. Your last name is Williams. Just go out there, play confident, and do what you do best.
When you hear your brother say that to you, what does that mean to you?
I mean, it's just extra motivation.
And not only is this going to be a big weekend for Max and Marcellus, it's going to be a busy one for their parents.
Yeah, Marcellus and Max Jr., big games this weekend.
Yes.
What's it like within the Williams family when you have a big weekend of games coming up like this?
Excited about the anticipation. We kind of know what we're going to do Friday through the day to the game. Saturday morning, hop on a plane. Excited about flying to Chicago, driving to Indiana. The past 5 weekends, we've been out of town.
Still to come, more key matchups to watch in the Southland this week. That's next.
You're watching MaxPreps SoCal.
Well, hey, it's not just Mater Dei and St. John Bosco this week. Here are some more key games from the Los Angeles metro region, starting Thursday with 19 Vista Murrieta against 4th-ranked Centennial. Then on Friday, a couple of first-ranked matchups. Number 14 Servite against number 5 Orange Lutheran, and number 11 San Clemente against number 13 Mission Viejo. All right, before we wrap up, MaxPreps dug up some wild plays from last week's action. This one coming from Texas. Jahleel, have you seen this on a football field before, my man?
First of all, him trying to hurdle the guy, then fumbling. Then the ball lands in the defender's lap. He hurdles somebody else, tiptoes down the sideline before it gets pushed out. Man, this is crazy. I haven't seen this in my time at all. This guy tries to hurdle him. He gets flipped on his helmet decal. It lands into his chest, and here he goes trying to take it back to the house.
If somebody tries to hurdle Jahleel Addae, what are you doing?
I'm flipping him just like this, right on his helmet decal.
All right, hey, this one happened in New Jersey. Hail Mary for the win. As a DB, they teach you to what?
They teach you to knock it down and not catch it, but no! Hey, every Friday in the NFL for 9 years, my coach would go over this Zack play. Everybody's assigned to a man. One guy's jumping, one guy's the back tipper, and one guy is boxing out. There you've seen it, Chris. Somebody was not doing their job and did not box out.
Hey, you never know what you're going to see on MaxPreps SoCal. This is from Jersey. Maybe we'll get some wild plays from Los Angeles this upcoming week. Hey, one final piece of business. Newbury Park's Shane Rosenthal was voted the California MaxPreps Player of the Week last week. You can still cast your vote for this week's winner at MaxPreps.com. Voting ends Thursday at 3 p.m. That's going to do it for this first episode, week one of our week one, MaxPreps SoCal. We'll see you next Wednesday, same time.